Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of the Transgender Plan, your go-to podcast for transgender history. As always, I'm your host, Mari. And it is an absolute pleasure to be back here with you all today. Now, yes, I would like to apologize. I know y'all wondering, Mari, why is the episode releasing on Tuesday instead of the normal Sunday? And the reason for that is that I had to work overtime this weekend from Friday to Sunday, literally 9 to 5. And sometimes even after that. So it was a lot going on this weekend, everybody, and I completely apologize for that. Normally, as you all know, my weekends is chill. It's time for me, myself, and I get to podcast, written up, do my research, everything throughout the week, write the episode script, and then release the episode on Sunday. That could not happen. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, it could not happen this weekend. So I want to apologize for not doing it. Also, to apologize for not getting out Monday either, because I just needed more rest. And I'm honestly still tired now, but I told myself I was gonna push through to get you all this episode because I also have to record. I think I'm not gonna be here really about a week and a half. So I'm going on vacation too. And I will not be in the United States of America. So I have to record a couple more episodes before I head out. And this weekend is also going to be chaotic because of Black Pride in Atlanta. So I will also be busy this weekend and next weekend. So it's a lot of things going on. So I'm going to make sure that I have all the episodes recorded and planned before I do absolutely anything moving forward. So you will get the episodes as normally planned, which is going to be on Sundays, normally around the time frame of 5 to 8 time frame. So like I said, I want to apologize for that, and I'm going to continue on. So to get into today's episode, as I always like to do, I like to thank my new and returning listeners. Welcome to my new listeners. If this is your very first time here, I hope that you absolutely enjoy the podcast. This podcast is literally not just about history, but it serves as a platform for education. We want to provide you insights into the transgender community. Here we aim to inspire understanding, promote inclusivity, and spark those conversations about the community. Each episode of our podcast is intentionally designed to be concise yet comprehensive, with a duration of about 15 to 20 minutes. Give you something to start with, and I want you all to take the time to learn on your own and at your own pace as well. So welcome to my new listeners. Don't forget to subscribe and follow and whatever other buttons that's there to promote the podcast if you like it. To my returning listeners, thank you so much for continuing to support the podcast. The metrics are continuing to go up, everybody, and I just thank you all for that. I really didn't expect the podcast to grow so fast over the last couple of months. So I am proud of my success and consistency, even though this didn't come out on Sunday. And I also want to give a quick shout out to a couple of people who have been writing positive reviews about the podcast, because we had the bigots. We have the bigots on the Apple making terrible reviews, as you could guess. So shout out to PoppinLock777. Shout out to Baby G 2001. Shout out to AV Exist. Shout out to Pazio. I'm sure I'm botching that, so I apologize in advance. And eBird 415. These are the only ones I can see, at least from my phone right now. I'm sure there's more. So if you have been writing more positive reviews, thank you all so much. I'm trying to get Apple to monitor my reviews, but they're obviously not doing a good job. So I just want to thank everybody who has been writing positive reviews about the podcast on Apple, because I want people to know that they can come here and it is not at all a terrible place of promoting propaganda or any other terrible things that people are trying to say that it's doing. Like I said, people are just being terrible, hateful bigots. So thank you all so much for continuing to support. Don't forget to tell a friend, family member, etc. So I did not say all this at the end. Now let's get into today's episode. Today, we will be exploring the life and legacy of Reed Erickson. And if you are familiar and study or research transgender history, I'm sure you've heard Reed's name before, who is a pivotal figure in our history whose impact reaches far beyond his time. You know, we'll really uncover his life, his philanthropic efforts, and also his lasting influence on transgender healthcare and visibility. So let's get into it. To get started, Reed Erickson was born in October of 1917 in El Paso, Texas, which is a city full of culture and history, for those who may not know. Assigned female at birth, Erickson ended up moving to Philadelphia early in his life with his family, which is a place that was bursting with educational opportunities and rich heritage. During his youth, like most F to M males, or not binaries, of course, they were in relationships with women. So he had a lot of lesbian relationships during his childhood, and he was actually called Eric by his friends, which it's not, some people might say foreshadowing in a way, right? And growing up after graduating from Temple University in 1940, he ended up moving to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with his family and decided to study mechanical engineering at LSU, setting the stage for his technical expertise and future career. After finishing school, Erickson's life changed when he actually inherited his dad's successful lead smelting business, really bringing in that financial stability and new opportunities, which kind of ended up leading him to an individual by the name of Kay. Kay's identity is withheld in most research that I did due to the family's request, who actually introduced Reed to social and political activism. Now, these key moments actually assisted Reed with his personal journey of transformation. As we fast forward, with the help of Dr. Harry Benjamin, and if you've never heard of Harry Benjamin, I think I'm going to also do an episode on him as well. I believe it's in my, I can't think of the word because I'm brain fart right now, but I have a list of topics that I like to discuss or want to discuss on the podcast, so that will also be there as well. In gender affirming healthcare. And Eric started transitioning from Dr. Benjamin's work, which actually gave him the support and knowledge that he actually ended up needing, especially during a time where it was very hard to find doctors who were well-versed in gender affirming healthcare. There was really a very small sample size of them. So a lot of people back in the day would go to these specific doctors who were well-known within gender affirming healthcare at that time. And Benjamin is one of them. By the mid-1960s, Reed had transitioned to male and actually kicked off a new chapter in his life. And this journey of self-discovery reshaped his identity and deeply impacted his views on life. And it led to his future philanthropic efforts, where he aimed to give back and support causes he actually cared about, using his resources to make a real impact. So moving on, in 1964, Reed, who, like I said, was very well-versed in the philanthropic efforts and was an advocate, started the Erickson Educational Foundation, or EEF for short. Now, this groundbreaking organization provided financial support for innovative projects focused on transgender issues and research. At a time when people didn't really, understand transgender lives, the EEF stepped up as a trailblazer, offering help to many. And it supported another organization called One Incorporated, which is a gay organization founded in Los Angeles in 1952. Now, by the early 60s, One was facing serious financial difficulties. So in 1964, the EEF came to assist and rescue, not only just providing the monetary side of help, but also valuable organizational advice as well to continue on their efforts. And its support led to the creation of the Institute for the Study of Human Resources, ISHR, allowing One to continue its educational and advocacy work, like, publishing a book called An Annotated Bibliography of Homosexuality, just to give more context to the LGBTQ plus community. Now, there were some legal disputes over property ownership, but the EEF's initial support was crucial for One's survival and continued mission. The foundation was key in funding early research in transgender healthcare, crucial in developing informed and inclusive medical practices, and they also supported important institutions like the Harry Benjamin International Gender Dysphoria Association. Look that up too as well. I'll put that in the episode with Dr. Benjamin as well, which shaped the conversation around gender dysphoria and healthcare, which today is now in the DSM-5. progression with it, but I still think that there could be some improvements with that. So thanks to the EEF, Erickson helped, establish the first standards of transgender healthcare for individuals. And this was actually groundbreaking and paved the way for big advancements in transgender medicine and healthcare. Now, as we continue to look at Reed's contributions to transgender healthcare, it was extremely huge and transformative. It was really marking a big turning point in making medical services for transgender people more accessible and advanced. And his generous financial backing was crucial for developing key medical services and research, which were hard really at the time to come by back then, especially. And through the EEF, Erickson supported the growth and sharing of medical knowledge and treatment options specifically for transgender individuals. And this support laid a very crucial foundation that has continued to evolve and improve over the years, impacting the field really in a humongous ways. And Erickson's efforts made a real difference really in many lives and paved the way for a more really, like I said, inclusive and understanding approach to gender identity really in the medical world. So his legacy of compassion and progress inspires the still today ongoing work to enhance healthcare accessibility and sensitivity for all gender identities, which, as you may know, like I said, it's been is it a seesaw? Is that the name of the contraption at the playgrounds? It's really been an up and down with the healthcare thing due to government policies trying to stop the medical field from allowing and assisting LGBTQ plus individuals. So not saying that Erickson's work is still not crucial, but like I said, just having people stop the efforts that he did make and his legacy that he did to contribute to transgender healthcare is trying to get blocked because of anti-LGBTQ plus laws. As I talk about his legacy, Reed Erickson's impact on transgender history is huge, as you could guess, right? Like everybody, and I don't like to talk about the negatives of people, and I'm really not gonna go too deep into it. It's not really a complexity, I would say, but it's something that we have to point out with considerable privilege. Obviously, Eric's wealth gave him a chance to actually make significant contributions to the LGBTQ plus community. Contributions that not many others, due to the lack of resources, couldn't have achieved. So I want to say like his financial support and advocacy did play really a big key role in advancing transgender rights and visibility when these issues were often sidelined. You may see in the research that, however, Erickson's life did share some challenges as it relates to struggles with substance abuse and legal issues, which obviously does get overshadowed because of some of his achievements. And it's not to say that his complexities in life are something that, I'm not going to say everybody does it, but it doesn't stop him from continuing the determination to make sure that he's impacting the transgender community in a positive way. So the use of his resources for the community's betterment is a powerful testament to his commitment to positive change, and his efforts laid those important groundwork for future advancements in transgender advocacy and rights. Really, like I just said, securing his place in history as a key figure in the ongoing struggle for equality and recognition. So as I wrap, really big key takeaways. Quick ones, not long at all. The first one. Reed Erickson was a pioneering figure in transgender history, known for his philanthropic efforts and contributions to transgender healthcare. 2, due to him founding his organization, there we go, I'm trying to get it out, the EEF, which provided crucial support for transgender research and healthcare developments. 3, his financial backing helped him establish the first standards of healthcare for transgender individuals, specifically in advancing, like I said, medical knowledge and treatment options. I want to also say, like I said, despite his achievements, Erickson's legacy is complex, but marked with, like I said, the privilege to enable his contributions to our history. And then lastly, Like I said, this story underscores the impact of using one's resources and privilege to continue to foster change and the ongoing importance of advocacy in the fight for transgender equality and understanding, which a lot of people who do have that money don't be given. So, big key point there. Let's kind of rally it all in. Reed Erickson's story shows how much impact one person can have when they choose to use their privilege and resources for the greater good. And his contributions to transgender healthcare and visibility have inspired many to keep fighting for equality and understanding. Reflecting on Erickson's legacy reminds us of the importance of creating pathways for those who come after us and the potential for change when we act with courage and conviction. So to wrap up, I want to thank you all so much for listening to today's episode on Reed Erickson. As always, don't forget to support the podcast, whether you follow, subscribe, whatever the other buttons are on these social media or podcast distribution locations, streaming services. Don't forget to tell a family, a friend, someone who may be an ally, someone who may just want to learn more about transgender history or LGBTQ plus history as well. Check out the podcast. I am still looking for a social media manager in the works, but I might have somebody. So we may keep that up to date as much as possible moving forward. I will let y'all know kind of what that looks like. But I guess I just want to thank you all so much. If you want to follow the podcast on social media, you can follow us at the Trans Lesson Plan on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow the host, Mari, myself, at mariiiwrld, that is MAR, 3 I's, WRLD. And as I always like to say, thank you so much for continuing to listen to the podcast. Like I said, I'm going to be on my P's and Q's. And for those who don't know what that means I'm going to be on my stuff, because I don't like to curse on the podcast, to make sure that I get you all back-to-back episodes for the next upcoming weeks, even when I am going to be on vacation in the month of September. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. If you are in the city of Atlanta and you will be coming to Black Pride this upcoming week / next week, enjoy yourself. I will be out in the city doing philanthropic work and also having a good time. So if you see me, you can say, hey, I'm nice. But be safe. And like I said, just enjoy yourself. But thank you all so much for listening. I cannot wait to see you all again this upcoming Sunday. And I hope that you come back. Thank you all so much. Peace.